Here's a test of your die cutting knowledge. True or false? Most rotary die cut orders utilize less than 70% of the anvil cutting surface. Simply trimming covers rather than rotating reduces cover life by nearly 50%. Anvil covers, which are worn unevenly, produce poor quality die cuts. Rotating anvil covers takes up to an hour. That's one fact we've just shattered. Introducing Dicar's new Equalizer with Equamount. Revolutionary anvil cover rotation that takes one man less than 5 minutes. Traditional cover rotation can be a tedious process. Covers must be removed and replaced in a specific order. Each and every cover has to be removed and replaced. The rotation pattern goes like this. It's easy to see why it can take so long. Cover rotation is essential because not rotating the covers at all causes the center blankets to wear while the outer blankets remain almost untouched. This wastes covers and results in a poor and inconsistent die cut. Now, here's how simple rotation is with Dicar's new Equalizer with Equamount. Step 1. Remove the retaining ring on the side towards which you will rotate. Step 2. Remove just one anvil cover and the large and small equalizer sections. Here, on our new boltless cover, notice how simple removal is using the pry tool supplied by Dicar. Step 3. Simply slide the remaining sections over one position. Step 4. Reinstall the two-piece bearing section and anvil cover we removed earlier. With this boltless design, blankets are installed simply and easily. This elimination of mounting bolts significantly reduces cover installation and rotation time. Step 5. Position and lock the equalizer bearing sections. Note how the male pin and female slot automatically interlock, allowing the equalizer to rotate as a single unit. And finally, Step 6. We reinstall the retaining ring. With the new equalizer, rotation can now be performed after each order or after each shift with a minimal effort and less than 5 minutes downtime. The equalizer is a chrome-plated anvil cylinder and an indexing bearing mounted on the cylinder. Urethane covers are mounted to the bearing. Individual bearing sections on the new equalizer are fully interchangeable. Since 1989, over 1,000 equalizer systems have been installed. The equalizer's patented concept increases die cut accuracy by correctly indexing the surface speed of the anvil cylinder to the speed of the die cylinder. The result is a die cut with far greater dimensional accuracy than that produced by a conventional rotary die cutter. One of the biggest problems solved by the equalizer is that of the piggyback effect. That's when the second blank from a 2-up die is too short. The equalizer eliminates the piggyback effect, so it's no longer necessary to modify the second up section of the die in order to change the length of the second blank. The indexing function of the equalizer also maintains consistency throughout the entire life of the anvil covers. With proper rotation, the last cut is the same as the first. Cover rotation can double the life of the covers, and with Equamount, it's a simple 6-step process. Here in the plant, you can see how this rotation pattern evenly distributes wear across all of the blankets. All of the material on a set of covers is evenly used, maximizing cover life. The new equalizer is available for most new and existing rotary die cutters. Installations of the original equalizer can also be updated and modernized to this new system. Updating can be done in your plant. Dicar's new equalizer with Equamount. Dimensional accuracy and anvil cover rotation that takes one man less than 5 minutes. Congratulations! As a new owner of Dicar's equalizer system with Equamount, your die cutter will now cut more accurately while greatly extending the useful life of its die cutting covers. But to get the most out of your equalizer and maximize your efficiency, there are several things you'll want to know. Here are the 6 steps of the rotation process, along with 10 tips to make your job faster and easier. Before we begin, it is essential to remove the dies from the die cylinder. Even if you can rotate the die out of contact with the covers, it is much safer for you as the operator to completely remove the die. Now, step 1. Remove the retaining ring on the side towards which you will rotate. In this case, we'll be rotating to the right, so we are removing the right retaining ring. Note how the ring doesn't have to be fully removed, just loosen it enough to slide off and rest it on the journal. Step 2. Use the Dicar supplied pry tool to remove just one anvil cover and one set of equalizer sections. Note that we are prying between the male and female sections, not between the blanket and the equalizer sections. Pry, then slide the male section out. Now slip off the large and small equalizer bearing sections. Step 3. Slide the remaining sections over one position. Note how easily the covers slide with one hand over top the cover and the other underneath. Don't worry about lining up the covers at this stage. Covers can be slid one at a time or in multiples, whichever you find easiest. Just make sure that the bearing sections are aligned and locked at the end of the rotation. We'll cover this more in a moment. If a cover hangs up or is hard to slide, or if 2 covers are knitted together, tap lightly on its bottom side with a dead blow hammer. Once every 5 rotations, it is a good idea to use a clean, dry cloth to wipe down the cylinder and the inside of the bearing sections. Step 4. Reinstall the 2-piece bearing section and anvil cover we removed earlier. Note how we're doing this. We first put the large equalizer bearing section onto the cylinder. Then, we install the female end of the blanket into the slot on the small equalizer section and made that up with a large section. We thread the male end of the blanket around the cylinder and insert it into the female section of the lock. Using the Dicar supplied dead blow hammer, we start at one end and tap across to the other. It's important that the blanket lies squarely on the equalizer bearing. We check this alignment by spinning the equalizer section 360 degrees while feeling the edge. Anywhere that it is out of alignment, we lightly tap it in place using the dead blow hammer. Use gentle, light taps. Step 5. We slide the cover we just installed tightly against the retaining ring and slide the other equalizer bearing sections into place, making sure that they interlock. This male pin aligns with this mating female slot on the equalizer section beside it. When operating, this interlocking allows the entire equalizer to rotate as a single unit. When sliding the sections into place, you can assure that they interlock by giving them a slight rotation and rocking them into alignment as shown here. Operating the equalizer without the sections properly interlocked will result in poor die cutting and may damage the equalizer bearings. Remember earlier how we slid more than one cover at a time? This is okay, just as long as the individual units are interlocked when you're done. And step 6. We reinstall the retaining ring using an adjustable torque wrench set to 35 pounds of pressure. Don't make the mistake of using a T-wrench for this process. It simply can't provide the needed pressure. Remember in step 1 how we loosened only one bolt of the retaining ring? That not only saves time, it helps keep the retaining ring perfectly round. The two halves on the retaining ring must have an equal gap. If one side is tightened too far, the retaining ring takes on an oval shape instead of a round shape. This affects its ability to properly retain the equalizer sections. It's important to note that the retaining ring has two sides which mate with two different sides of the equalizer bearings. The cutaway side mates with a bearing which has a pin, and the solid side mates with a side of the bearing which has the slot. Follow these 6 steps and 10 operating tips, and your equalizer with Equamount will deliver clean, consistent die cuts while greatly extending the life of each set of anvil covers. For more information, please refer to the Dicar Equalizer Manual, which came with your system. You can also contact your Dicar representative. In the US and Canada, call 800-323-4227. Outside the US, call 973-575-1174 and visit us on the web at dicar.com.